After months of constantly checking boats for sale, I finally found a boat fit for me. Sturdy, long-keeled and heavy, not forgetting standing height in the cabin. Such is Vagabond 31 from year 1983. It was located in Norrköping, Sweden. I went and booked a ferry there to see the boat. Everything seemed to be in order, so we agreed on a price and the deal was made. The idea was to transport it to Helsinki, Finland, come summer. Summer arrived sooner than expected, and I found myself on a ferry to Sweden with my dad. Uwe, the seller, had launched the boat and prepared it for us. All that was left was to sail the boat to Finland. The next day we left early. The forecast promised easterly winds, which meant closed hull sailing for the whole passage. To our disappointment, we found ourselves in irons, so we had to motor almost the entire way to the island of Öja. We made it to Öja. It was not great. It was upwind all the time, so we're still at Öja. We're probably gonna stay here for the day because the winds are not great for crossing to Finland. Prepare the boat a bit better. Check the engine. About the engine, as we inspected it, we found out that the alternator belt had chafed through the raw water hose and it was dripping water inside the bilge. I'm glad we discovered the chafe before anything disastrous happened. We managed to fix it with a spare hose and a cable tie. And explore the island. Öja was a very beautiful island. It had an idyllic village and Sweden's oldest lighthouse, built in the 17th century. Next morning was foggy. The fog disappeared as we got farther from the shore. Then we hoisted the sails and took course to Finland. Finally, some actual sailing. The winds were light, maybe 10 knots, and the boat sailed beautifully. The idea was to reach Uutö the next day. Uutö is an island at the edge of the Finnish archipelago and perfectly suited for a quick stop.
Hyvin menee.
Spanish omelette, normally made with olive oil. We don't have olive oil, so we make it with butter.
Very good.
The wind shifted early morning and we found ourselves running with the wind. We were inexperienced with sailing downwind, and with the sails slatting about, we decided to abandon Utö and sail more east with a broad reach. However, now we had more miles ahead of us before reaching land, and soon the wind started dying. Soon it was barely blowing at all, and to make any progress, we had to start the engine. So the wind died down. And we started the engine, and the engine started smelling of oil, and we heard a loud beep inside, and it turns out that the cooling system has failed, and now we don't have engine. And change of plans. So the engine had been modified to cool itself with fresh water instead of raw water, and this modded system had failed. Fortunately, my dad was savvy with diesel engines, and he managed to bypass the freshwater cooling system and run salt water straight to the engine to cool the engine down. After that, the engine ran fine and no big damage was done. Now we decided to head closer to the coast and find a place to sleep. Our passage had stretched considerably, and we were exhausted and just wanted to have a good rest. We tried mooring on Bengtskär, Lighthouse Island, but quickly found out that mooring there was nigh impossible, tired and in the dark. So, we continued motoring for some hours to Hanko. We reached Hanko at around 4 a.m. and we immediately hit the sack. We spent the following day and night at Hanko and left refreshed in a thick fog. We were heading to Lähteellä, Porkkala. That's the final stop before Helsinki. The wind was once again non-existent, but we managed to sail a few miles at the end of the passage. Pidä vaan.
Mihin päin mä?
Tää.
Mihin päin mä veikon?
Mä sammutan koneen.
Pystyykö sen vetää tuolta?
Ollaan kiven ohi.
Riittää.
Just. We got to get to practice a bit of downwind sailing now. After some failures. For the next day, the forecast promised us downwind sailing with light winds. A great weather to learn the use of a whisker pole. There was more and more traffic as we approached Helsinki. We dodged some cruise ships and a dinghy sailing competition.
Hello! Katso tänne.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to Finland.
Thank you. It was a good trip.
Ulos.